Hello everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Misfits Racing League. My name is Stryfium, and joining me all the way from Spain is, Alejandro Bitto. Alex, how are you doing today?
Hello, Striv. Very good for just coming back after this break. I'm very excited to see these drivers here in Austria.
Yeah, that's right. Time for Austria, round 11. A very intense circuit. The Red Bull Ring. We're here in Spielberg, of course. 10 turns, 4.318 kilometers. A very fast circuit, DRS zones all over to really keep this grid together, and it's already been a very intense grid throughout this season. So I'm very much looking forward to how things are going to go, especially after a 1 week break. All of the drivers with a good opportunity to practice. As you can see the calendar there, we are here now, round 11. Next week we move over to Britain. Following that, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, then Russia, through onto Suzuka, of course the Japanese Grand Prix, then the US, Mexico, Brazil, and then round 22 in Abu Dhabi. So we are now at that halfway point into the season. This is that 11th round, and of course, massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. You can check them out on their website in the chat or in the panels down below for some amazing sim racing rigs. They've got some great stuff, great quality products there. Now, we take a look at the calendar, but now it's time to take a look at the standings. And the standings, well, the standings right now, I have to say, Rutanius, 169 points in lead of this Drivers' Championship. Maka, P2 for Haas right now, 113. Yasko holding on to third, tied up with Squid in the Williams, 77 points for the pair of them. And then there's Adam tied up with Backrow. So there's a lot going down right now between the two charging Red Bulls. Then you have Dunk on You, Unicorn 7-8, Dirk Chocolate, and Damon 9-10 to round out the top 10 for the standings. For the drivers, of course, Racing Point, Red Bull, Renault, your top 3 for the constructors. So there's a lot going down on the grid today as far as points and position changing. We'll see how things land. And, well, we'll just see how everyone's been able to shape up over the course of this break, Alex. We were off last week for the Easter break, and now everyone's had an opportunity to rest and really take a look, maybe review some races, review some highlights, and get themselves dialed in for the next stretch of the season.
Yeah, this just look at the standings. It's super close. I think those between Duncan, you and third place, it's like 7 points, and there's a lot of drivers in between of them. So all can happen here. A lot of exchanges on the standings can happen from this week onwards. So we'll see how these drivers can manage it. And well, it can happen. Everything here on Austria is a very tight track. The start can be messy sometimes. The inside line is very dangerous. If a car spins on your just in front of you, it's very difficult to avoid it, and probably you cause a massive pileup. So we will see, and we hope that doesn't happen today, and we have a clean race as always these tier 3 drivers bring to us.
Yeah, it's been a very good season for Tier 3. They've had a very clean run of a season here so far after the first 10 rounds, and we're just about ready to go. All the drivers now getting readied up. And, well, of course, if you're new to the MRL, it is an 18-minute qualifying, followed by a 50% distance race with a full roll of the dice on weather. It is set to dynamic. Strict corner cutting and the Parc Fermé rules are enabled with full damage. Ghosting is disabled for these races. So, yellow flags mean slow down, and you never know what could be coming around on track to plague or ruin your race for the remainder of the campaign. Jumping into this fantastic circuit, the Red Bull Ring. I love it. It's just a quick wrap. It's a fun circuit to drive. I think it's definitely a favorite for most of the drivers today, and the group of MRL drivers all this week that we'll be taking to the circuit. It's just a fun flowing circuit, and there's a lot of fighting.
Yes, it's very short track. We will see the pole will be around 125, probably a little bit high. It depends on the track conditions, of course, and the temperatures of the tarmac. So a lot of drivers here expecting a good result. Can be very good for them. Probably on the race we can see the other strains. We will see what happens. I'm really, really excited for this trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time for sure, Alex. And we're just jumping into qualifying now. No rain in sight, and we'll get a weather report in just a few moments. I'm sure someone in the chat will give us a heads up. And of course, big shout out to the chat. We love you, and we love seeing you. And thank you, everybody, for coming to join us on the broadcast for Tier 3.
All these drivers wetting up. We see Undertaker fitting those mediums as well as Becari on back row and Noodles. They're only reserved for today's race. On the place of Cactus, was not able to race today. Sad news for the Mercedes squad, but of course on track as always. The first will be Squid on that outlap on the soft compound. I don't know which tire allocation are these drivers trying to choose, because you can go softer with those fourth compounds, but you will only have one medium set for the race. But it's a short track, so you can do a lot of runs on those soft. Probably Squid going into that strategy. We'll see later, but here the strategy normally it's a soft to mediums or a soft to hard. Soft to mediums pitting on around lap 12, lap 14 to the end with those mediums. And if you want to go to the soft hard strategy, probably pitting on lap 10 should be safe to go to the end. Of course, the reverse strategy can be as well good if you can stay on that DRS train for the first 10 and then do the comeback with that soft compound to the end.
Rutanius, the Dutchman at the top of the driving standings right now, overtaking Squid here on this first run. So he will be the first driver to get a lap in. The Dutchman wanting to get that camera time, Alex.
Oh, and there's a spin actually on the outlap. I think it was Atom. Yes, it was Atom, but a spin out of turn 9, so that will not be good for his confidence. And now he has this share from his teammate. But yeah, jumping into Rutanius is now on sector 2, just entering. 15.8 was his first banker on sector 1. It's a pretty good sector at the moment. I guess he can improve that time, but it's a very good one to start the night with.
Yeah, just coming out of turn 4 now, getting on the power here into 7th, into the double left-hander here, dropping it down as low as 4th.
He doesn't want to extend those track limits out of turn 7 going to turn 8. Now turn 9, very difficult one. He misses a little bit the apex, will go on the outside now. I think he touched that banana on the inside, probably costing a little bit of time. Note opening the DRS at the first time, and it's a, I think it was a 3 point, I think it was invalidated. I don't know why it's not popping up.
Oh, I saw a little bit of a desync there coming out of the racing point. I saw a time come up before
There
from
is it.
Squid.
There is it.
103.1 from him. Larsen in the chat getting that dead right.
Yeah, 3.1 was for Rutinius. And another thing we haven't talked yet, it's Grenade Goran taking place there on the Ferrari squad. He has a 100% win rate. He won on Zambord on his debut as a reserve, and he will want to repeat that, of course.
Yeah, I can't say I'm disappointed in having a new driver over at Ferrari. I mean, it's unfortunate to see Razor back out, but now we have Grenade who, well, as you said, he is now got a 100% win rate given that that debut showing in the Netherlands, and now, well, he's just on his in-lap, sending that 103.578. All the traffic coming through now. We'll look for more drivers to jump on with Dunk on You is coming through into the penultimate turn.
Out of having some connection issues, you don't want to see that on the drivers. He had already a bad first lap. I think he actually invalidated that one after a spin on his outlap, so not be good for him. But now a lot of drivers on the lap, I think, or well, not a lot of drivers actually.
Linus checked in with him in the Ferrari. He was on a run. He is invalidated, and he's on the rear of his teammate Grenade Garin, and I do believe both of the prancing horses will march themselves into the pit lane. Variety of drivers currently on circuit. However, I don't believe the majority of them are on flyers. There's quite a good amount of time to get a time set here around the Red Bull Ring. 18 minutes in such a short lap time give you a little bit of breathing space.
Moen on a lap right now. I think he's the only driver now out of turn 3 opening DRS. Had some returning that session. We'd love to see that. Now Rutenius will go on turn 4, taking the maximum curve he can. There, downshift to second, now upshift to fourth, and trying to get the traction as soon as he can. Now on sector 2, very technical, just on the finishing this sector 2, it takes the purple one, but I think, as we always know, it's a visual glitch. So we'll see what time this Racing Point can do and if he can be close to his teammate.
Yeah, that 103.1 from Rutanius right now is the provisional pole, just 4 milliseconds ahead of Yasko on the front row. Moen, a 104.250 will jump him into 9th position.
And I think he's flying again. He's trying probably back-to-back runs. Probably can work. We'll see if he's improving. It seems like 2/10 improvement on sector 1, so he's in a double run at the moment. But I think Becario right now, he's now finishing his lap, opening the DRS on the main straight. Will be at 3.7, jumping into P7 just ahead of his teammate.
Not too much happening on circuit now, other than Moen, as you said, could be going for another run, but he's got that invalidation now on the track map. Everyone else is on outlaps. We'll see who the first person to set a time will be. Have Adam, Alex, Bud, and Damon out presently, and I think that it will be Damon out of those three to begin a flyer first.
Rutinius is actually on a flyer, so he's now in sector 1. He's almost having the same time. I think it was 1,000 of his provisional best sector 1, opening the DRS out of turn 3, a very difficult traction zone trip.
Yeah, turn 3, definitely. I think it would be probably considered one of the most difficult turns on the circuit, if not the most difficult turn on the circuit. There is only 10, of course.
He's not improving. He's not improving. He's 1/10 red on his delta. We'll see if he goes to the pits or he will just stay out. Seems like he's low on fuel, so probably burning a lot of fuel on that out lap. Now he goes wide and he will invalidate that lap. He just yields on the throttle and will be 3.7, but it doesn't count because it was invalidated, of course, and now he's just letting, I think, Unicorn by? No. Yes, it's Unicorn.
Well, Damon now coming through the penultimate turn in the McLaren. I do believe he will be crossing next to set an improved time, as he has not set one yet. What will it be from the McLaren? It's good for third, Alex. It's a 103.348 from him. Following him, I think we'll see Mr. Alex Budd. However, he has an invalidated run, but I think he might just be gearing up to go again. No, he's dropped it, so he will not be setting a time.
Atom spawn out of turn 1. He has not set a lap still, Striff, and he's really suffering. I don't know if this is the setup, it's the patience on this driver. I don't know what is happening today, but we know he has the pace. Even Rutenius, his rival, knows he has the pace to have this pole position, but he's not putting the lap on.
Linus and the Ferrari coming through, a 103.741. Yeah, I was speaking to Rutenius and Adam both before this race. Adam, as you said, we know he's got some very serious pace around here. The Mercedes of Noodles has just crossed the line. It was good for 5th, a 103.556, and this grid is really starting to tighten up. Undertaker pushes him into 6th. Undertaker into 5th now, 103.517. We take a look at the gap right now from 1st down to 13th position. It is less than 1 second.
Duncan, you having a big snap out of turn 1. I think he will just save ERS and fuel, but he did it as well on the last lap, so probably will not be enough fuel for another lap. We'll see. But at the moment, I think we have drivers on lap. I think was jumping now back row on P5. Regular lap for him, very consistent driver, and now always we can see him on the top 5, both Red Bulls there, with Jasko on provisional pole with a 2.9.
Things tightening up, and that's what you would expect around a circuit like Austria. Everybody this week predicting that the times in these grid formations are going to be significantly close.
Renate Gora now on turn 4. I think he's not improving at the moment, but probably will be doing it on this sector 2 and sector 3. Turn 5 flat out, turn 6 very difficult. You can probably lose an understeer into that curb, having an invalidated lap, sorry. And now entering sector 3, very technical. Well, all this track is very technical. You miss 1 millimeter and you're off your invalidation, or well, you have a spin like Atom is having right now and problems. Now invalidation,
Ooh.
as I said, for Green Goran, bad for him, and he was almost improving.
Yeah, he didn't run it out in the end there. We didn't get to see what that would have been. He decided to just drop it at the line after the invalidation. Lavelle now is flying through into the double left-hander.
You'll have traffic. Your chocolate just ahead of him. Oh, that can be
Yeah.
massive.
That's not good there. Dirk Chocolate on an outlap right now, having a little bit of an issue on the racing line. And that is not something that you want to see in a qualifying session. Austria, of course, we've talked about it a little bit. It's not an easy circuit to qualify in, such a tight circuit, such a quick lap, and such a, a large number of racers, 20 drivers on this grid. It can be hard to find your way around the circuit without, creating one of those dynamics. Moen now flying through Sector 2 into Sector 3. He's just about come into some traffic of his own, and we'll just see what he's able to do, if he's able to improve here.
Some invalidating again his run, but now Moen, yes, crossing the line. I don't know if he improved.
No, he invalidated, I do believe, on the exit of the final turn, which is where we've seen it common this evening.
A lot of drivers now flying. I think Rutsenius is flying. He's improving almost 1/10. I don't know if he will be enough for the pole position at the moment for Jasko. It's a 2.9. I think it was now Arrow crossing the lines 3.2 for the Mercedes driver. Very good qualifying. Now Rutsenius on the last corner. It's turn 10. He will go wide. No, he's holding it on track. It's at 2.9. Yes, it will be enough for qualifying. Now Rutsenius on pole position, and Jasko will try to answer that, but he's on an invalidate run, so we'll see if he can do it later. 6 minutes now for this qualifying turn.
Big shout out to Ace Richie. Thank you very much for the raid and the host. Welcome in everyone from Richie's stream. You're just catching us near the end of qualifying now. near 6 minutes remaining in this session. We have less than 300ths of a second, the gap between the front row right now. Arrow looking to get into the sub 103s, into the 102.9 range with the front row. We still have that time remaining in the qualifying. We'll see if they have the rubber to get the improved times through, because I think a lot of these drivers have already come out for maybe 2-3 different compounds, Alex.
Yes, I think you're really pushing hard to get this time done. Now Squid was crossing the line, setting a lap 3.1, enough for P4. I think he jumped Arrow and Beccari as well. Now jumping up to P3. Very good time for the Spaniard. Both Spaniards are on top 5. I'm really happy with that. But we will see if they can hold it, because this is very tight grid, and a lot of drivers now setting laps back row. I think starting 1.
Well, one driver everyone's been waiting to see get a lap in, and it's Adam coming out of the final turn in the Alfa Romeo. It's good for pole, Alex. It's a 102.710, and he has finally come to Austria to get that car where it needs to be. There it is. That is what everybody was waiting to see, and I think we knew it was coming.
He smashed that time. It's a 2/10 gap on Austria's amazing lap time from Atom, and I think he can do it again, and probably even better. So we will hope he can do it, because that's a very good time for the Alfa Romeo. He was having some issues at the beginning, but now he has solved it, and now he's pushing as much as he can.
Alex Budd got a time in there, a 103.839 for his first valid run of the campaign. So many drivers now looking for improvements. Back row in that Red Bull, a 103.1. He improves by 0.3, getting himself into 6th position. And this is what we love to see, is this grid just getting tighter and tighter. The gap right now from first down to 13th, still less than a second, less than 9/10 in all reality. Linus is pretty close to that 1 second range. And I have to say, with the DRS here around the Red Bull Ring, things are going to be quite tight throughout this entire campaign. We'll have to see how this opening lap goes.
Mac invalidating his lap. I don't know where he did that. I was on board, but then I didn't notice. I think it was out of turn 4. He's now on P11. I don't know if he will hope to have that position at the end of this qualifying, but now Domin Place as well. Flying out of turn 4, turn 5, now turn 6. And I think he will be improving, but now he understeers, and it's not invalid, but it's 4/10 loose out of that sector too. and I think he will go to the pits.
That car really giving him some struggle right now. Wrenching it to try and get it to stay true to where he wants it to go.
Linus opening DRS on the main straight. He will cross the line P14, and he will improve, but not enough to be ahead of his teammate. Right now, the Ferrari is on P13 and P14. We'll see if they can improve. 3 minutes left almost, and a lot of drivers still flying.
Here comes Noodles to the line. He jumps his teammate Arrow. Noodles in a reserve capacity today for Cactus, so he is driving in that Mercedes. However, he is here on behalf of what we call the Pirates. Gadwin, if I'm not mistaken, he crossed 12th just a moment ago to jump behind the rear of his teammate Undertaker.
I think Arrow lost it on turn 1 now. I think I was just on board catching, well, I caught that back end slipping, and well, he's not down that bad on his time, but we'll see what he can do. Probably he can jump some positions here. He was on top 3 earlier, but we'll see if he can hold it there with Tasco and these guys.
Currently riding on board with Unicorn. He is in the Renault, and we'll see if he is able to do anything about his 104.6 on this timing tower. Out of the final turn, what will the time be? It's definitely not going to be an improvement out of him.
I think he wants to do another run now. His
Shaky out of
pedal.
turn 1.
His pedal is really, I think he's really struggling with that braking pedal. I think he told us he had some issues there on that pedal, deactivating the DRS. You can see on the telemetry how it's affecting a little bit.
We were speaking with Unicorn before the race, and he was explaining how his brake has a stutter at the moment. It's giving him quite a grief.
Atom and Rutenius flying both.
Both flying. I do believe Rutenius ahead of the Alfa Romeo right now, just by a short margin. It'll be Rutenius into turn 4 first, and he is looking to jump that Alfa Romeo. Of course, really quick, I would just like to take a moment to say thank you so much to Richie and both Aliens as well for coming in with the tier 1 subscriptions. We greatly appreciate the support, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who's viewing along with the stream. Hit that follow button and subscribed. We really appreciate it. Now, Rutenius out of the penultimate turn. A 102.929. This will be the final shot at it. He's blown it. He will not be able to improve. Adam, well, he doesn't really need to improve, but he's going to anyway. What an improvement. It's a 102.473 coming out of Adam in the Alfa Romeo.
That was amazingly done for the Alfa Romeo driver. Now Baku as well flying. He's on turn 6. He's improving 1/10.5. Probably this can really jump him into that top 5 positions. Very important to be there on the same strategy as the leaders. Right now on P7, we'll see what he can do on turn 9, turn 10. Very unstable there can be the car. Jumping that curb, putting the throttle down as soon as possible. He opens DRS. We will see what can do the Red Bull driver. It's not enough for improving. It's actually the same time as Squid on P6.
Arrow will not be improving. He is currently pulled off. Beccario coming to the line in the Haas. It does not look like he will be improving, Alex, because the Haas driver was out of fuel.
Oh, that's massively unlucky. But as well as Rutenius invalidating and now going into the pits. It's a pity for him. Arrow doesn't seem like he's flying. Doesn't seem like he has fuel. So I think this is the grid done. We have Alex Bud there still, and he's on an invalidated run, so I think this is the grid for today's race.
Wow, Adam on pole position here, 102.473 from him. Near half a second over his championship rival in Rutenius, as Rutenius failed to set his final run with an invalidation through, if I'm not mistaken, the penultimate turn. This is going to be an intense race. Of course, everybody, it's time. Get those predictions in the chat. How many safety cars? Who is going to win this race? Who have you got for this one? What a qualifying session this was. Look at the time from Adam, a 102.473 for the Tier 3 pole position time.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Atom with, I think he only has one win on France. He had it 2 weeks ago, but still a very fast driver. Probably not having the best luck on all of these races. He had the pole as well on Australia by some 10th and some margin, and now he's repeating that on Austria, and we'll see if he can hold that P1. I don't know if he will feel nervous being on that first spot, but it's a very, very good lap time from him.
Yep. There we have it once again. Adam on pole position in the Alfa Romeo. It was a 102.473 from him. Rutanius, the Dutchman, the championship leader right now, the Racing Point, a 102.928. Just 0.455 on the rear of Adam. Adam just really showing through today. Yasko quite tight to the rear of Rutanius. He lines up third in the Red Bull. We have Aro and Beccario 4-5, the Spanish drivers, Mercedes and Haas respectively. We'll go down through the rest of this grid with you on the formation lap. But I have to say, Alex, I'm quite nervous for this race. I feel like there's some drivers really trapped in this grid with a little bit more pace. DRS train, definitely something that can happen here in Austria. We'll have to see how these drivers attack this this campaign.
Yes, and not only that, but I think a lot of drivers will try to do early moves on lap 1, lap 2 before that DRS is enabled, so they cannot be stuck on a DRS train, or at least trying to gain as much position as they can before the DRS is active. So probably can see a lot of overtakes on those first 2 laps. Now we'll see what these drivers on the bottom 10 decide to do on the strategy. They can put the mediums or the hards, but I think a lot of people will be deciding for those mediums.
Medium tire, definitely a solid tire around here. Comparison to the hards definitely. It's a hit and miss tire. 5 seconds counting down now for all of these drivers to get it set for their formation. This is where we really take a look at this grid and the tires set forth by these drivers outside of that top 10. We have 2 drivers going for hards, Gadwin and Moen. Linus in 16th position opting for the softs. The rest of the drivers outside the top 10 going for that medium compound tire. You take a look at the grid. Well, Alex, why don't you take us through this grid?
Grenade Goran on his debut as a Ferrari driver here on full-time capacity on Tier 3 will start on those softs on the top 10 is the last one. But now Damon plays on the mediums, as well as Mac, as you said, Lobel on 13th place, Undertaker on 14th, Godwin on those hards on 15th place, just behind his teammate Linus, the only one on the bottom 10 with those softs on 16th place, Alex Bad on the mediums on 17th, Moen on hards on 18th, and both Reynolds, Unicorn, and Dunk on you on the last row with those mediums.
Adam, Rutanius, Yasko. Oh, that is your top 3 right now. Adam, Rutanius, they have been fighting all season long. Alex, these 2, I think it's very, very safe to call them major rivals.
Yes, when you speak about Tier 3, I think a lot of people just have in mind Atom and Rutanius with a sword each other. And Jasko there as well, Ara as well there, Squid, Bagro, Beccario, drivers who are always there on the top. We'll see what they can do. We know Aro is a very aggressive driver and trying to do moves very early. Adam and Rutanius. Rutanius is always playing it safe. Atom trying to hold this P1. And Jasko as well, very aggressive and very intelligent sometimes with the strategy. So I'm really excited to see what these drivers can do, Strafio.
Well, the final driver now coming out of the final turn. Dunk on you. The Renault's 19 and 20 for this race. Unicorn, as we mentioned, dealing with a little bit of a technical issue in his car, we'll say. His brake. Adam, Rutanius, the front row here, the Red Bull, Yasko, who wants to charge through. It is 3, 4, 5 red lights here around Austria. And we are away racing. How is the start for this grid? We've already got a little bit of slow action in the rear of things as we come into turn 1, but it is all intensity as we come through turn 1. There is an issue.
Oh, Squid.
Squid has had an issue in that Williams. He has dropped a number of positions. Things are very shaky. There has been a collision on the start of this race. Moen taking 5 seconds, and that is a VSC deployment as we come into turn 3, Alex.
Squid, I think, probably it was Noodles who had contact on the back with Squid. Now Squid hadn't stabled the car out of turn 1, and now they had contact. I don't know if there's more drivers with damage. I'm trying to look for, probably not visually, but probably they can have it, and that can be a major issue here in Austria.
Well, VSC out here, we haven't even completed 3 turns before it was deployed. It was on the way into turn 3 for Adam when it came out. We'll see how this impacts the grid. Of course, DRS can play such a factor here, and if anybody gets caught out of position, it can really throw a monkey wrench in this race. Adam Rutanius, less than a second the gap between them. However, Yasko's just dancing within that range.
And now Alex Bad, the biggest winner here, 4 positions on 1 turn. That was an amazing start from the Williams, and now it's green flag racing, and we have a lot of drivers very, very close.
Yeah, everyone keeping it pretty well single file on the way into turn 1 right now. I think everyone wanting to kind of just take this opportunity to take it easy. Everyone get their bearings as the timing tower is giving us a little bit of a shuffle at the moment. 2 drivers into the pit lane, Undertaker, Linus, Moen, all among that group.
Very bad luck for them. I don't know what they will be doing for the strategy, probably hoping for another safety car or something where they can really gain time.
Here goes Lavelle. Lavelle's making a move on Alex Budd right now, up the inside of turn 4 as we come through. Wheel to wheel still, just barely as Alex looks to hold on, but Lavelle will get that move done through now. We'll look ahead. Adam starting to pull a little bit of a gap over his rival in Rutanius. Yasko's still looking to hunt down the Dutchman.
They're very close on Grenade Goran. We'll see if he can do the move. Doesn't seem like now he'll do it. DRS will be enabled on this lap 3. Now, starting, Adam, I think he actually breaking that DRS window with Rutanius. That can be very, very important for the lead of this race.
Definitely very important. It looks like Linus struggling right now as Undertaker. I think Undertaker has gotten ahead of him. A lot of fighting right now through the midfield. There's been an issue as Damon Plays has seemingly gone into the rear of Maka through turn 3.
Yeah, he has damage, I think, on the right end plate, if I'm not mistaken. And now Lovell will try to do the move on turn 4. He's looking on the inside. He will not have the move done here, but now he'll try it on the exit, same compound. It's both drivers on the mediums, but Damon has damage, and now he will suffer on this double left-hander. Look at the loss of downforce. Now Linus having a move on Undertaker as well on turn 1. Seems like Undertaker had a big snap out of turn 1.
Damon, no visible damage on the front left wing. That front right, missing that end plate there. You can see he is on his way into the pit lane.
Noodles as well. I think, yeah, he's changing the front wing. Noodles, as well as Damon Plays. He's going for the mediums, I think. Yes, he's doing for the mediums, so it's surely a double stop here.
An interesting call coming out of the Mercedes crew here early on. We are now on lap 4 of this race.
Oh, it seems like Gato had a mistake, or Rutanius just catch the DRS, because now he's only half a second between both leaders, and Zasko is really there as well. Arrow as well, the top 4 very close, but now Beccario lost the DRS and is holding the other part of the train on this top 10.
Yeah, back row now. Really gonna have to try and push to cut through this Haas in 5th position. Beccario also a penalty already here in this campaign. Gap to leader right now from Adam to Moen, 45 seconds.
Yeah, now, of course, this bottom 5 had to pit, so it's normal that we have that gap. But at the moment, Zasko very close on Rutanius.
Yeah, I was looking at Dirk Chocolate as we were coming through into the final turn, looking very tight to the rear of Grenade. He had a bit of a struggle, losing himself some time, but now he's going for it, Alex. Here we go through turn 2. On the inside now into turn 3. Does he have this move locked in? He holds it tight to the inside, gets a good run through turn 3. How's the exit? Yes, Dirk into 8th position now. Grenade will have the DRS to hunt him back down into turn 4. Dirk, a gradual move onto that outside optimal line here. Grenade isn't done with him, but we'll have to look with these guys in just a second as back row still hunting down Beccario as we come through the double left-hander just ahead of them.
Adam having a 3-second time penalty on lap 5. That can be massive for him and the lead of this race. Luciano is keeping it clean at the moment. We'll see if he can, well, if he falls on the same trap as the Alfa Romeo driver now opening DRS, he will stay on that train. Zasco as well, very close. He's the best on the battery, well, nursing at the moment on these top 3 drivers, and Arrow losing DRS, and not only that, but 2 seconds on these top 3 drivers.
This is definitely a sigh of relief and a little bit of a lift of pressure, I think, if you're Rutanius, when you see that Adam has that penalty ahead of you. But the problem in that sense is that Yasko's just not letting him come up for air.
Backrow having an exit out of turn 3. He's side by side with Beccario. Now DRS for the Red Bull. A little bit of a brush there on the wheels, but now it's a clean move from Backrow. He's up into top 5 positions.
This is good for Squid. This little fight has really allowed him to kind of catch things up. Shaky exit coming out of turn 4. But now that Backrow is in front of Beccario, this could present an opportunity, well, for Squid now to catch up with Beccario. Backrow has a little bit more pace. We saw Beccario dropping a significant amount to the drivers ahead of him.
I think Squid probably have some damage of that lap 1 incident because he's really dropping on the pace. 1.2 is the gap with Beccario. Now losing that DRS, Renate Gorong as well, having that 3-second time penalty. But probably Squid have some damage. Probably someone on the chat of the Williams squad can confirm it, because or it's a low down for setup and he's not, well, comfortable with.
Maka right now under threat for the final points position in this running, as Lavelle is within half a second. Is quite close into turn 1, holding that DRS on the rear of this Haas into turn 3, but we'll see if he has an opportunity out of turn 3 into turn 4.
Doesn't seem like Mac and Lobo both are the leaders of this medium strategy, but at the moment the gap to the leader is 13 seconds, so I really don't know how much they will be able to do on the second stint with those softs. Of course they will win time, but we will have to see how much they can, because right now they're 4 seconds off the 9th place on the softs.
Well, I'll tell you one thing is, once we see pit stops starting to come through in this race, I think that's when the dynamic will really start to get shaken up and shuffled as these gaps start to form. There will come a time.
Very close.
Yeah.
That's very close.
They're gonna send it. He looked.
Very close, very close. We'll see instruction routine is a little bit of snap there, but Jasko has a bigger one, so he will not try the move now.
Here goes Lavelle. Yeah, Lavelle with a smooth move, getting into 10th position ahead of Maka. Alex Budd just 7/10 on the rear of the Haas. We'll see if he's able to catch himself up and get himself into those points as well, or near them at the very least, as Lavelle will try to pull away. There will come a time for these drivers where they're going to need to start really pushing and taking some risks, I think. If we look at Yasko and his battery right now, he has quite a significant amount at his disposal in comparison to some of the other drivers we've seen on this grid, but everyone trying to use that battery conservatively, I think, in the opening phases of this race.
Yeah, we have a very good battle for 18th place between these bottom 3 drivers. They are really, really close between each other. Undertaker almost trying them up on turn 3. Linus just holding the line, but they're having a close battle right now, and Moen as well there.
It's definitely quieted down as we come through into lap 9, and we'll have to see how the strategies start to play themselves out now as the tire wear is starting to play with different drivers a little bit more so. You can see that certain drivers are falling off.
Yes, this can be probably they are saving some tires at the moment because they really need to stretch that set of soft if they want to do the soft mediums. I think the window, as I said, should be around lap 13, lap 14. It's a bit for those mediums, but they can be very, very worn Squid now having a 3-second time penalty, almost there on the DRS window of Beccario, but I think he definitely has damage because he's like undershooting a lot on Beccario, almost losing the rear out of turn 10. Now Squid will have a very good run on turn 1. He's trying the outside trip.
Oh, this is intense. Squid around the outside now through turn 1. A little bit of a wheel bang on the inside there. Yasko had a look at Rutanius coming through into turn 1 as well, but got just tight to the rear. Nothing doing into turn 3 just yet. But Rutanius has also been catching himself up nicely with Adam. He knew that Yasko was pushing, so what he did was he closed that gap to Adam in front. He got himself a little bit further away from Yasko.
Oh, Adam is off. Adam had damage now. A spin out of turn 4. Oh, not again, not again. Adam losing that first place after having that penalty. Now he has damage, and now I think he will have to pit for hard to the end because this is massive. This is massive for him. He was on the lead, and now Ari is just behind him. Oh, I'm very sad for him.
Yeah, that front right wing in very bad shape. You can see holding that right side now. He will take that pit lane entry. Very, very close with Arrow. Almost clipping the Alfa Romeo there coming through the final or the penultimate turn.
I don't know if Arrow knew how much damage Atom had, but still no contact, so we'll have to see that. But Atom very, very unlucky there. Beccario having another 3-second time penalty. Now, as I said, Atom changing that front wing and putting a set of hearts, trying to go as far as he can, hoping, I guess, for a safety car or a BSC. Alex Bud right now very close on the back of Lobel.
Oh, Alex Budd wanting that final points position. Here he goes now with a solid exit out of turn 3. They are wheel to wheel. Let's see if the Williams has enough on the brakes here. He is a little bit later. He has that inside, a bit of a lockup on the front right. Solid exit from Lavelle, however. He will hold 10th for now.
And now that Adam is not there, I think Zaskar really needs to push because he probably wants to be on P1 before that pit stop, because Rutenius now has no DRS to defend with, as Squid is entering the pits with Beccario. That's why we see that exchange. But now Jasko probably really needs to push, and as I said, he's now just on the back of Rutenius. He will try to move on turn 3. He's now on the inside, utilizing that overtake button. He will be side by side on the apex, but a better round can be for the Red Bull. Squeezing a little bit Rutenius. Rutenius having a better exit, opening DRS there side by side still with the DRS. It will be for none of them. So it seems like the Red Bull has a better strain at speed. Now the inside of turn 4, and it's a very good move for Jasko.
Oh, very tight racing between these two. Yasko on the inside through 3, getting that move done ahead of the racing point as we come through into turn 4.
Renate Goran as well, trying the move on Dirk Chocolate, but Adam now will do the move on Beccario, who actually lost it on the exit of turn 3. Now Squid will take that place because that was a big snap of oversteer for Beccario, and Noodles will try to close the gap as well.
Yeah, this might have just brought Noodles into DRS range of Beccario. Rutanius now looking for a move back on Yasko into turn 1, and this might just give Yasko a DRS opportunity leading into turn 3. A little bit of a shake on the exit. That might compromise his run. Rutanius back in the lead of this race for the moment.
Very, very close. I think they really want to be on P1 before that pit stop, so they can decide on the strategy. Or probably Jasko can just put an undercut as Dark Chocolate overtakes back row. Very good move, back row almost tapping the rear on Dirk on turn 3. We'll see who gets the better exit.
Well, he's under a lot of pressure right now, back row, as Dirk gets the 4th position. Grenade, who's been fighting with Dirk all evening, really wanting to get through and catch up with that McLaren. This Red Bull is now an obstacle for the Ferrari.
It seems like Grenade Goran has better probably management of the tires, as I think none of the leaders are going to the pits. That's actually losing the rear end of turn 9, so probably they will be pitting both on this next lap. Dirk is definitely pitting. I think Grenade Goran probably as well. I think so. Oh, Dirk losing the rear, and he will. I think he saved it.
No,
oh,
he's in the wall. Dirk's looking at the wall. I wasn't entirely sure what's happened there. Dirk was taking a casual line through on the pit entry. There is a yellow flag through Sector 3 right now. Dirk is going to lose a massive, an absolute massive amount of time due to this issue. And there has been some unique situations with that pit lane entry line and drivers carrying through that penultimate turn. Lavelle now on the inside of Maka through into turn 3. Does he get this move done? The Haas around the outside with a very clean exit. Will get that car placed in front of the Alfa Romeo. Lavelle now says, that does not matter. I am going to go around the outside. I have DRS, and there is no way I am not getting this move done on you right now. And Alex Budd, well, he wants to catch himself up to get that popcorn front row seat.
Both leaders now pitting. Zasco, I think, is suffering a lot on the rears with probably that setup or probably the management on the tires, but both are pitting. A Zasco 5-second time penalty.
That is not good. Yasko is in such a great position, but he's gone too quick into that pit lane, and that is going to hurt him. Rutanius getting out now.
Bakro opting for the double stack on the Red Bull. We will see if this can cost him a lot of time. Probably a couple of seconds, not major issues for the Red Bull driver. Putting the mediums now, is trying to go to the end with the same strategy as his team, and now we will see these drivers on the lead. Really trying to push Alex Budd on the back of Maka. He actually has to yield after, well, to decide to not tap the rear of their Haas driver. So at the moment, Alex will stay on P3 and on that medium to soft strategy, potentially.
So much overtaking now as these fresh rubber runners, as I say, are now moving through the grid and trying to find their way through the traffic. Lavelle, Maka, Alex, Gadwin, all on these starting older, well, harder compound tires. Rutanius is within DRS range, as is Yasko. Dunk on you. Well, he is on these older tires, 6.4 seconds. The gap behind him is the former race leader, Adam, who is on the hards to the end.
And now Arrow is pushing him, and this is very important because I think this is the fight for the podium. I think Adam right now is on P3 virtually, but Arrow is on a better strategy, it seems, with those mediums, and can go to the end and should have more pace right now. Oh, as I just caught him, and now he went wide and taking that penalty.
A lot of action right now. Gadwin dropping 2 positions inside of a turn here as Yasko and Rutanius. Well, Rutanius moved through first. Yasko wanted to take that open door as well. Adam and Arrow having this fight. This is not good for Adam right now in his quest to catch up with Dunk on You, because this is just going to hold them both up.
Arrow still behind that Alfa Romeo, and now Jasko, look at the traffic out of turn 8. Rutinius trying the move as well. Jasko as well on the inside. Rutinius will protect it. He doesn't want Jasko to be there. Jasko has a 5-second time penalty though, so he'll have to serve it or just adding that time at the end. But Jasko has a better run out of turn 10, side by side on the main straight. A little bit of out of deployment on the main straight, but now Rutanius will try to hold the outside. Jasko on the inside. I don't know if there will be contact. It's buried side strip.
Oh, what a hold from Rutanius there around the outside of turn 1. The Haas in front of them right now really presenting an issue as Rutanius will take the lunge through into turn 3. Yasko looking for that open door. We have a beautiful view, a beautiful shot of this racing. Look at how these two have gone through that sector. What a lovely view of that action. Thank you, Codemasters, for that.
Now Vicario had a big issue on the traction on turn 3 again. And losing place with Squid, I think, and Noodles. Noodles now jumping into P11. Very good job for the reserve drivers. Linus having a 3-second time penalty. Is now on P19.
Adam on the rear of Arrow, less than half a second. Still Arrow wanting to catch up. Dunk on You just the same as Adam did. But of course Arrow on the very fresh mediums right now. He's going to have a little bit more pace at his disposal, but is it enough pace to just outdrive?
Oh, Jasko will try it on the inside again.
I'm trying to get the look right now. It will not work. Once again, Rutanius with that hold. Working very well for him. Rutanius now up the outside of turn 3. Lavelle holding on with 17 lap old mediums, and Rutanius back into lead of things. Where is Yasko? This is crucial for Rutanius.
This is crucial as Rutinius has to defend actually from Lovell. Now Jasko really needs to push and have the move done. Now on the exit of turn 4, it seems very likely that Jasko will be on the outside now for turn 6. It's a very good move. Lovell had to actually yield to not have contact. Squid and Noodle side by side on turn 4 will have this place. It seems like Noodle on the mediums has a better one.
Yeah, the action really starting to come through here, as I said, as the pit stops come through and this grid really starts to shuffle. We're now halfway through this race, lap 18 out of 36. Linus and Undertaker exchanging once again. They have really been dancing this entire race, Alex.
Yes, they have been, and now Squid on the inside of turn 9, having that place. Noodles on 13 lap, all mediums, it seems like. I really don't know when he pit. Oh yeah, he had damage. He had damage on lap 5, he pitted. But that's why he's on that different strategy as everyone else.
Penalties now viewable on screen. Variety of drivers picking up 5-second penalties, but the 3-second penalties are also playing a large role as Noodles will move back through on the outside of Squid. Here comes Becario as well. Squid holding on the inside of turn 3. Will the Haas get this move done? He has a solid exit. A little bit of wheel banging here. It's still wheel-to-wheel Squid, utilizing some of that traction and battery right now to hold off this Haas, and this is some tight racing. Squid up the inside of turn 4. Does he get Noodles back here as well? This is still tight. They're wheel-to-wheel. Becario with the popcorn as we come into the double left-hander. Noodles will hold on to that final points position, but what racing we're seeing from these two. Squid isn't done with the Mercedes.
And Zesko having a 3-second time penalty now, 8 seconds worth of penalty for that Red Bull. And probably that can cost him even the podium.
Austria is not a circuit where you want to be taking a large amount of penalties. If we have a safety car, it will really hurt these drivers even more so. We have a yellow flag, and Adams had another issue through sector 1, and it's coming out of turn 1. These drivers behind him now. Oh, wow, that was some scary stuff to see right there.
Becario very close. I think he actually tapped Adam, and Adam tapped Noodles. Now Adam will have the place. I don't know if Adam has any damage.
I don't believe he does.
Doesn't seem like. And now the Green Goran will try to move on back row on the inside of turn 4. Not alongside at the moment. Has to jump in the curve. We'll see who has better exit. Utilizing that overtake the Ferrari driver at the moment on the outside of turn 6. Probably they can have any contact. No, it's very clean now. Back row will hold that position, and there's an exchange between Lovell and Maka. Lovell going to the pits. I think Maka as well. No, he will stay out at the moment, and Lovell really doing that undercut for those soft compound, I think.
One driver we haven't talked a lot about here is Gadwin, who's on these hard compound tires versus these medium compound tires. We take a look at him right now.
Jasko is for the lead right now. Rutenius will be on the outside. Seems like a Verstappen-Leclerc action. But at the moment, Jasko will take P1. He has more seconds of penalties, of course, but Rutenius now really closing the gap because he doesn't want to lose that DRS zone.
Beautiful racing action coming out of the front runners right now. We have another move here. Gadwin, Alex Budd. Alex Budd on the inside of this AlphaTauri right now. Gadwin, Alex looking to keep up with Maka. We were talking about Gadwin. He has these hard compound tires. Alex on these mediums. Look at the view here. They're still battling tight, and that's what you love to see is just some hard racing. We'll see who's going to get that move done still. Jasko now, he's starting to pull away from Rutenius just a little bit. Nearly 1 second the gap between the front end runners right now as Alex Budd will call it into the pit lane.
We had very good action between Grenade Goran and back row. Grenade Goran having that place and now catching Noodles for this top 10 on his second race on MRL. We will see if he can catch. It seems likely because Noodle has to pit, but now another curse for me as Grenade Goran will take a 3-second time penalty, and I don't think it's the first one he has taken today.
No, there is a variety of drivers now with penalties. I want to take one moment to take a look at the fastest lap of the campaign. Adam, P7 in that Alfa Romeo, 105.937, the fastest lap from him. As we have another exchange, Dirk Chocolate getting 13th position as Alex Budd comes out of the pit lane on fresh softs. Dirk with a squeeze here. Lavelle on his outside. Lavelle moves through, gets Dirk for 13th position. Alex, not entirely sure if he has any damage here.
Very intense racing now. Lovell with a very good compound on his car are having another 3-second time penalty. I think it's up to 6 at the moment, but I think he's on a potential podium at the moment. I'm really not sure about that. We'll have to check later.
Maka finally into the pit lane here. Gadwin is now in 3rd position.
Gadwin really extending those hards, probably hoping for a safety car of some capacity, probably a virtual even, and try to put this off to the end. Routine is very close.
Around the outside of turn 4 on Yasko. A little bit of a wheel bang. Oh, Yasko. Really shaky because of that wheel bang. He's actually gone into the grass a touch. And there goes Rutanius. He is clearing that Red Bull very quickly here.
I think there was a minimal contact that unsettled the car, and now Squid and Granit Goran having an exchange. Granit Goran really on a charge on those mediums. Now on the outside of turn 4, better traction for the Ferrari. I think he will have the move done at the moment, but they are still side by side. Granit Goran on the inside, Squid holding the outside with those hards. It's very difficult to do that, and he's doing it. But now Granit Goran this turn 7, and it seems like a very easy move. But now Squid having a big snap of oversteer there, and now Gadwin putting, I guess, for a soft compound, a set of softs. I mean,
we'll see where he drops out, Gadwin. Jumping onto the soft compound tire. Dirk now exchanging as Alex Budd moves into 12th position. Gadwin onto those softs. 9th position. Lavelle coming down the straight. The Haas of Maka tight on the rear of him, and it looks like Gadwin is going to be in fighting shape with these drivers on the softs, 4 points position.
What an uppercut for Gadwin, and now Maka will try to do a double move. Now on the outside of turn 3, Gadwin breaking a little bit late to try to cover that, and it seems like it worked at the moment, but now Maka had the better traction, opening DRS. Gadwin will be vulnerable of that attack of the Haas driver. Now on the outside will try it on turn 4. They're still side by side. Gadwin trying to hold her. I think there's a bit of contact, but it seems like Gadwin had this covered. It's still side by side on turn 5, and now turn 6 on the inside. Maka will try the move. Very clean between these drivers. Gadwin on the outside and has to yield because Maka is on the inside. A very good move on the Haas. Now Lovell will try to do the same.
Yeah, very intense racing here. You love to see those shots. Just tight battling between these drivers. Everybody really volleying for points position now, as these are the soft runners and they are in the points. Lavelle 2-lap old softs, 3 laps as we cross the line, is going to be looking very hard to try and get into that 10th position where we've seen him dancing all race long. Yaska Rutanius up at the front, less than half a second. Sorry, as you said, Maka.
Having that 3-second time penalty is probably going to cost him the points, but we'll see later, as his teammate has 9 and he's ahead of him. But it can be very difficult, the penalties, as we said before. Now back row very close on Squid. They are side by side on turn 4. Back row, but a better exit seems. Squid on those hards, not the best he can do on the traction. Now it seems like a very easy move for back row. The grip on those mediums is really having some gains at the moment.
Rutanius, Yasko coming outside of turn 1. I switched to them as Rutanius was off wide. It looks like Yasko has just conceded that position back to the racing point. Not entirely sure if it was the stewards in game telling him to do that or if there was some kind of foul play there.
I really don't know, to be honest, but what I really know is that Adam is still holding on P4. He has 9 seconds of penalties, and at the moment I think he would be on P5, as back row doesn't have any penalties and he's 2 places behind him. But he's really doing an amazing job after having some major issues on this race.
But coming back at back row into turn 4 here, down the inside with a supercharged lunge. Does he have enough to get this move back on this Red Bull? Yes. What an opportunity taken from him there, and it paid off. We'll see if back row has an answer, as Gadwin now around the outside through the double left. There's been a massive issue. He is in the gravel. There is a yellow flag being sparked as a result, of course. I cannot see right now if there's any damage on that car, but he has now dropped a significant number of positions, and those softs are not going to be in a good state at all. 10 seconds for the troubles as well.
That's race ruined for him. He was in the points and really catching Maka. I think there was contact, but I didn't know how it happened. Stewards will look after now. Zasko, sorry, Rutinius having the move on Zasko on the outside. It seems after the DRS zone of out of turn 3. It seems like a very clean move for him. Back row as well having a move on Squid. Seems like Squid on the inside of turn 3, and back row will have to wait. I'm probably having a better extraction, but it doesn't seem like now Gadwin returning on pits. Very bad luck for him.
Yeah, something must have definitely happened there. We did not get the best view of that action, I must say, but of course stewards will have the opportunity to review. We have a bunch of moves happening on circuit. Rutanius and Yasko. Now Alex Budd up the inside of turn 4. Does he hold this off with Beccario? We have another yellow flag. That's through turn 1. What's happening here? It's the retired car. Yeah.
Now the leaders are there. Now the leaders are there. Can be massive. Now Gadwin, it doesn't seem like it will cause any major issue for them. We'll see if it can be for Arrow. It doesn't seem like at the moment. We hope it doesn't. Now Rutinius losing that place on turn 1, I think it was.
Very, very interesting. I wasn't entirely sure what happened there, but yes, it was the AI-controlled retired car of Gadwin. He retired that in the pit lane, calling an end to his race after that unfortunate issue through Sector 2. Now we have Alex Budd looking at Lavelle through into turn 3. Lavelle looking to maybe squeeze him on this outside. Lavelle a little bit later on the brakes right now. Dirk Chocolate is going to catch up if they continue to fight. Dirk now struggling on the exit out of turn 3. Alex not done with Lavelle. Here we go into turn 4. This is where Alex has been doing a lot of work so far. He's been very comfortable on the inside of turn 4 today.
Doesn't seem like now he's going to do the move, but Dirk is going to do it on Beccario. I don't know if Beccario has damage after that contact with Gadwin. Duncan, you will try to do the same with those soft compound at the moment. Really, really flying on that track.
I don't think it's Dirk on Beccario. Beccario is hunting down Dirk. Dirk struggling. He's just dropped a second to Alex Budd.
Yeah, that can be the issue for Dirk. Probably was Beccario trying to do the move rather than Dirk. But as I watched Beccario falling down on this time tower, I thought it was him. But now Duncan Yu really wants to push because he wants to do double move now. But late on the brakes, I think he. Oh, that's big issue for Beccario and Duncan Yu.
I've missed that, and there's now a car sitting. Oh man.
Yeah, I saw what happened. I think Duncan Yu with a better grip didn't expect Beccario on the hard to break that early.
Hold the phone. There is some huge overtaking coming into turn 4 here. Arrow. He had an issue.
Arrow has lost the podium at the moment. And Grenade Goran will take that before out of nowhere. Oh.
We are on lap 30 of this race and everything has just exploded, I feel like, on this timing tower. Coming into turn 4, we saw a massive amount of overtaking out of turn 3 on that lap, and now here we come. Now another issue, yellow flag through sector 2. It looked like it was a Haas driver.
Beccario with the damage he had out of turn 1 is going really, really crazy at the moment on lap 29 and 13. Another issue for Beccario, really, really unstable the car. But right now back row on the back of Squid, really, really closing gap on turn 3. He's going to jump. He's going to jump. Yes, he's going for the dive. He's going for the dive. Squid really holding there on the hearts, but now Lobel, it seems like a better exit for him. Alex Budd will try to do the same. Lobel up on P7 and try to catch back row in the same straight. It doesn't seem likely. He's now up into P7, the Alfa Romeo.
Squid is struggling dearly on these hards. His teammate now, Alex Budd, is pushing through into 8th position. Beccario has retired in the pit lane. And that will be the end of the Haas driver's race.
And here, it seems like he had a bet of having a top 5 finish, and it doesn't seem like he will be having that one, and probably losing the hair, as it seems like on the chat team was saying. But at the moment, very intense racing, and we have Squid losing those places as we saw, and Duncan Yu really closing the gap on Dirk Chocolate. But I don't know if Duncan Yu has damage after that contact with Beccario.
Looking right now, taking a look. Doesn't look like he has any damage done on you. Back row Lavelle, tight through turn 3. And this is all good for Alex Budd and Squid. in the sense of if these two drivers continue to fight, Alex Butt could maybe look for an opportunity on those softs and push through. Dirk now has been overtaken by Dunk on You into turn 4. Dunk on You with a smooth move. It would seem DRS assistance definitely coming through for that one as well.
Yeah, and the gaps are so close on this midfield, on the bottom part of the points, that we need to really take these penalties, because this can be a massive shuffle when these drivers cross the line. Back row without any of penalties probably can jump even to P3, but I'm really not sure at the moment. We should have to the numbers, probably jumping to P4.
Here goes Noodles up the inside of Dirk Chocolate into turn 1. He gets that position from him. Alex Butt up the inside of back row into turn 3. Very early on the brakes. Alex Butt just trying to keep that car slowed down to hold that inside. I don't know if that was what he needed to do there. I think he might have been better off just going deep with Squid now, his teammate, on these 19-lap old hards, just holding station behind him. Potentially in a good slot to play rear gunner if Dunk on You creeps up to them.
Yeah, Alex Butt with a lot of pace with those softs. He really needs to try it now. We're on lap 33. As Jasko crossed the line, 2.5 is the gap and extending almost 1 second per lap on Retinius. I don't know if he will be able to create that 8-second gap that he needs to win, but it's still very, very good effort for Jasko, as we have a blue flag, I think. Probably was Unicorn leaving everyone by. I think it was Jasko the leaders and Retinius.
Yasko with that 8 seconds right now. Eurutanius is in fantastic shape. Adam, Grenade, 9 seconds apiece. Lots of penalties on this grid right now.
Yes, I think at the moment back row may win a place with Lobel, probably on Mac as well, on Grenade as well, and not on Atom. So probably Maka jumping. No, I think Atom can't stay on the podium at the moment. I think he actually can, just because Maka has 3-second time penalty. So at the moment, I think Adam is really safe on that podium, as Rutinius is not leaving Jasko by. He's still in the same gap as last lap. So I think Rutinius can have this win if he doesn't have any major issue on these 2 laps and a half to go.
Definitely things on this grid have spaced themselves out to the point where penalties can play a significant role, as Damon has had a significant issue. He's on his way into the pit lane. What has happened to Damon, and why is he on his way into the pit lane on lap 34?
Major tire wear? I actually think it's major tire wear.
Did he spin out of the penultimate? No, did he spin? Oh, fastest lap could be an opportunity.
Fastest lap. Now Duncan Yu and Noodles having an exchange out of turn 3. Noodles really on that comeback with those softs. He put them later on this race. As Duncan Yu having a big snap out of turn 4. Undertaker and Demon Place having an exchange, but Demon Place will try to go for that fastest lap, I think. As we see Jasko on the map just behind him, starting lap 35.
The only thing I can think of right now for Damon, other than the fastest lap, is if he had an issue that spun him into that pit lane, because we know that the game can reset your vehicle to the pit entrance once that's happened.
I really didn't see any yellow flag on the last sector, but probably that can happen, yeah, as back row is really close on the back of Lovell.
We're on the penultimate lap of this race right now. Lavelle pushing off to that inside to defend right now. Back row around the outside of turn 3. What a exit.
It seems like the subs are not working anymore, but now Lovell, even though we'll try to move on turn 4 side by side, still they have a little bit of contact, nothing major. Alex really lurking there to have a really good move, but doesn't seem likely for Lovell and not even for Alex. So right now back row having that move done on turn 3, very good one for him, as I think the mediums are just a little bit better on this stage as we enter the last lap of this campaign.
We've seen a lot of fantastic battling, some very clean racing, I think, overall in this campaign. We're now entering the final lap as Yasko is headed into turn 4. But it's just been a really fun campaign to watch. I think it's such a good part. Lavelle with a puncture. Lap 14 softs are not the tire to be on. Alex Budd will inherit a position here. And what has it been with punctures recently? This is not what the Alfa Romeos wanted, even remotely.
Oh, that's massive disappointment here. Some points and not that much penalties. Now Lovell will try to lean back to the pits as Zasko is now on last turn. Turn 10, Zasko will take the lead of this race on track, but 8-second time penalty will cost him the first place as Resenis will take that place, and Maka now having an exchange on grid. Goran, he has a puncture as well on the rear left of those mediums. 21 laps will not be enough for him. Now he'll lose those places on his debut on Ferrari. This is massive for these drivers.
Well, Williams just snuck some serious points here. I'll tell you, if Alex Budd is able to cross through without a puncture, the punctures have been coming through. Maka will collect 4th back row. Where will he land himself after penalties come through? Well, he'll slot 5th. Alex Budd 6th. Squid 7th. It'll be Noodles in 8th. Grenade to the line with that puncture. He will finish in 9th. Will Dunk on You jump him? Well, there's a variety of exchanging on the finish of this race. Lavelle in 9th.
The points.
Yeah. Congratulations to him in the end. Wow. What a campaign. I'm just going to say this. I was building up this race with the drivers, and this did not go the way I think it was going to go. It did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all. But congratulations to everybody who landed on the podium. I think there's going to be a few guys laughing because my predictions were so way off, but the interviews will be fun. Driver of the Day in-game awarded to Alex Budd, and well, I have to say, he absolutely had a stellar performance today, Mr. Budd. So fantastic from him. But of course, it was all about this guy right here, Rutanius. He kept it clean through the entirety of this race. He came in hungry for a win, and he walked away with the win. Yasko with a stellar drive as well. The penalties just, I think, hurting him too much in the end there. And Adam, despite the issues he suffered through this one, he will finish this race, well, on the podium. Once again, Rutanius, Yasko, Adam, your podium finishers here. And they were the drivers that began this race in top 3 formation. However, they did get shuffled around quite a bit. Wow. Just thrilling race. We had Maka, back row, Alex Budd from 17th to 6th. For the Williams driver. What a performance. Squid, his teammate, will finish behind him in 7th. Noodles in 8th for his debut as a reserve for Cactus today. Over at Mercedes, it was Lavelle 13th to 9th, and Grenade, who started this race in 10th, finishing this race in 10th, collecting his full-time debut point for the Scuderia Ferrari squad. Dirk Chocolate, a very up-and-down race for him. Issues in qualifying as well. He finishes this one in 11th. Dunk on You 12th. Arrow 13th. Damon in 14th position there, and I didn't get quite the rest of the grid, but it was a stellar race, and I really enjoyed that one. How about you, Alex?
It was very dynamic. Those punctures really on that last stage, costing some drivers a good comeback after the pits, trying to do the reverse strategy. Probably Lovell doing that undercut too early. I think he had 15 laps of softs at the end of this race, but he had the puncture on 14. So really unfortunate for him, but probably a little bit risky on that strategy.
It was a very fun race to watch. We're going to get interviews in now. The strategy is definitely playing a role in that one, as we didn't have any safety cars. We had the one VSC very early on into turn 3, and that was it. Nothing else really throwing a wrench into that equation.
And that, I think, that was a good thing, because the drivers with the mediums had the opportunity to put the softs without compromising the strategy. And now, well, they had a very good comeback, and we had those exchanges on turn 3, turn 4, turn 1 even. And that was a, well, very good and dynamic race.
Very dynamic race. We're just waiting for these drivers now, for those who wish to participate in interviews to get in, and I do believe we're waiting on Adam and or Yasko, but we will, you know what, just jump into the interviews right now. We'll go ahead and get Mr. Rutanius in here, joining us for an interview. Maybe we'll do things in reverse order depending if the other drivers decide they wish to do interviews. Yasko coming through saying he can't, Adam saying he can't. So, well, the time is yours, Mr. Rutanius. Welcome back. No stranger to the commentary booth. I have to say, congratulations. I think you'll be laughing at me, considering how our conversation went ahead of this race, but smiles, I imagine, for you after this one.
Absolutely. That was such a race. I tried to keep calm, but still, like, the adrenaline was flowing through my body. It was like crazy. I really wanted to get back in form, like it was, and I'm glad I could pull that off. And yes, I'm glad I could prove you wrong.
Yeah, I'll enlighten everybody. I did not have Rutanius in the top 5 today. I thought that this race was going to go a little bit more hectic coming out of an Easter break, and I think we can all be happy. Tier 3 put on a very clean race today. Alex, do you have any questions for Rutanius after, I think, a very consistent, clean drive today through the Red Bull Ring?
He just managed the gaps as he wanted to do that. And I think it's a very, very good race for Rutanius. Another win, but this time it was very good battle with Jasko. A lot of exchanges, and I think both drivers as well as the spectators really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that a lot. Given that Jasko had 8 seconds of time penalty, I didn't really want to battle him too much. I was just there to put my car there. Yeah, this is how it ended up, and he's a great guy to battle with. He did it really clean, he left space and all that, so very glad with that.
Because we have the time, and we're not going to be speaking to the other 2 drivers, I'll just take a couple extra questions than normal with you, Rutanius. I want to take a moment to ask you something just about this track, qualifying. What kind of challenges did that present today? I know that you had an issue with your final run. Was it traffic? Was it just the pressure of the traffic on track? Or was it, the pressure of the situation? Or was it just, the flow of things? Can you talk us through the qualifying briefly?
In the qualifying, basically, I was very calm. I didn't really feel much pressure. And there wasn't much traffic. Basically, I've been struggling on this track from Monday until today a lot. And I'm very happy with the qualifying time I set, by the way. But yeah, I just made a little mistake because I wasn't really consistent enough in the qualifying runs as I wanted to be. And my second timed lap was, well, quick enough, apparently. And I just couldn't top it.
Well, it was a very, very intense qualifying session, and well, your qualifying did you well enough to get yourself another race win to add to that already fantastic championship total of points. Now you have extended your lead once again, so congratulations. How are you looking ahead for round 12?
I think it's Silverstone, right?
That's right.
Yes, Silverstone. I like the circuit a lot. I haven't driven there much, but yeah, I can't wait to drive there because it's an awesome circuit. You got Maggots and Beckett's, you've got plenty of overtaking opportunities, you got the tire management and the strategies. Maybe a little bit of rain. We all love to see some rain. But no, I have not done any preparations for that, but I will most certainly do as much as I can to be on this top spot next week again.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us, Rutanius, and once again, congratulations on another race win around the Red Bull Ring.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up Tier 3 racing action for today, everybody, and I hope you all enjoyed it, but we're not just done. Tonight at 9 p.m. EDT, that's Eastern Daylight Time, and for those of our friends in the UK, that's 2 a.m. for you. Unfortunately, it is fairly early in the morning, and we have that at 3 a.m. for those in Central Europe. That will be the Americas division, where I personally will be partaking. But until then, I wish to wish everyone a fantastic evening, but not before I give a super shout out to our amazing partners, Next Level Racing. Please help us out. check them out via their website. Visit them on Twitter. They have some amazing sim racing rigs on their website, some quality stuff. They have a great variety for, well, all skill levels. And of course, Alex, that's really it for me. Other than the racing action, we'll be back tomorrow for tier 2, same time, same place at 8 p.m. EDT. But any messages from you before we rate a member of the community?
Just be sure to stay tuned for today's race at America, and I think it will be a very good one to watch, as well as tier 3 was today.
Thank you very much, everyone, and have a fantastic evening.